Welcome to the Near Memo, a weekly conversation about search, social, and commerce. What happened, why it matters, and the implications for local. So that's my opportunity to transition into the next story, all right?
All right.
Which is about the BrightLocal.
If you can get me to shut up.
Yes. No, I'm not trying to get you to shut up. I'm just trying to, we've talked a lot about the core update.
Okay.
So BrightLocal came out with another in a series of its annual consumer review studies. These are great studies that have been going back for now, quite a long time, number of years, I don't know how long. And they asked a lot of questions about a lot of things. Do you trust reviews? What review attributes do you look at? What are the minimum stars that you need? They asked about AI. They asked about incentives. We don't have time to talk about it all. We're going to write about it in the newsletter, maybe elsewhere. But so the high level is, and you guys can fill in if I miss anything. The high level is reviews are still highly trusted and heavily used by consumers. We've seen that in our own research, obviously. People want, at least 4 stars. They want recent reviews. They want businesses to respond to reviews. The thing that I found most interesting, it's all the sort of intuitive stuff that you would expect. The thing that I found most interesting was the kind of hidden discussion of review fraud that's in there. They asked people if they had seen a fake review or seen fake reviews on different sites, Amazon, Google, etc. And most people have seen fake reviews, but what does that really mean? Once, often, how often are they encountering them? And then they also have some interesting stuff about how people ascertain that they're fake reviews. But the thing that I thought was most interesting was the fact that Google has lost some of its slightly eroded its supremacy as a review destination. Consumers are diversifying the sites that they're looking for reviews on, and they're using multiple sites to check reviews. It was a minority of people, I think only 23%, if I remember correctly, that were using only one review site. So what consumers are doing is they're looking on Google for sure, and then they're going elsewhere, depending on the domain, to find corroborating information or contradictory information. And I
saw a tweet the other day that talked about the transition of language in Gen Z from Google it to search it up, and how
that's in Mike King's presentation.
Right. How the loss of the verb reflects that societal change of behavior towards Google.
It's Gen Z, right? It's younger people who are saying search it up to refer to a broader group of sites, which includes TikTok and editorial sites and other places, YouTube, where they're going for the kind of information that they would get perhaps previously exclusively from a review site.
We saw that a little bit in our restaurant consumer behavior research, where users would occasionally look at the Google reviews and then do a brand search to confirm their view of the business. They wouldn't actually go read the reviews, but they would go look at the opposing or complementary review sites as shorthand to whether a business was good.
So which is one potentially useful positive outcome of the European DMA is Google is now surfacing more of these third-party review boxes, or I wouldn't even say more, but they're surfacing them more prominently in knowledge panels and search results from third-party sources. The flip side is I don't think that's going to help those review publishers get any more clicks. It's just giving consumers more information about the business without having to do that follow-up search.
Exactly. That particular change serves Google much more than it serves Yelp or TripAdvisor or anybody
and
else.
Consumers, though. It does. I think it is a positive UI innovation for consumers. Yeah.
Another interesting finding was the discussion of review incentives, and what BrightLocal found was that there are now more businesses. I think the number was, I think it was close to half of consumers. This may be a misquote. Were now getting incentivized to write reviews in one form or another, in the form of discounts and other incentives. So businesses are using incentives, which are prohibited, certainly by Yelp and by Google, to write reviews. and that reflects the recognition among businesses that reviews are absolutely critical, both for ranking and for consumer conversions.
Just to
And
clarify on the legality of incentives, they're legal under federal guidelines if the incentive is disclosed. So if you received it, it has to be clearly stated,
like a
near
contest.
a contest or in the review that I received, that this person
I got a
received
20% discount.
Exactly. So when you're looking at product reviews where it's driven by them, like J.C. Penney selling a product and they give you an extra discount to review the product, then it's legal as long as they include it there. The problem with Google and Yelp and TripAdvisor is there's no mechanism to do that. So there's no way to do that. Thus, you then fall back to the terms of service of those companies. So it is, and then becomes, if you do it, becomes against both the FTC and Google because you can't show it. So the problem, I mean, most people are seeing these incentives. The question is, where is all that long backdrop? Is it in local or is it just across the board?
Well, I have to go back and look at the survey, but I think it's across the board. I don't think there was they specified. So I have the list here. So discount is the most common. Gift or services after that. Competition or prize drawing entry. Loyalty points or reward scheme, and cash in some cases. And it doesn't talk about whether this is in the context entirely of local businesses or products. But I would imagine, given that this is BrightLocal and the context of the larger survey is about local businesses and local reviews, that this extends to local businesses.
Yeah, certainly there are incentives, and people keep doing them in a way that violates various guidelines, ethics, terms of service, and other things in local, where it's much harder to do that. It's very difficult to provide an incentive and do it within the guidelines of the FTC. It's possible, but very hard.
Okay, so the final piece before we go into the local finder discussion was about the finding that it was something like 88% of consumers were more inclined to do business with a local firm that had responded to reviews, that responded to all of its reviews. I think the numbers were 88% were going to, were favorably inclined to do business with somebody who responded to all their reviews, and 47% would do business with somebody who hadn't responded to reviews. So the idea is that consumers want to see businesses respond to reviews, and consistently surveys from BrightLocal, and I've done surveys, and it's pretty consistent that that's what people want. They like when businesses respond to reviews. They want to see review responses within a short period of time, 24 hours, a couple of days.
Thanks for joining David, Mike, and Greg. To stay on top of the latest developments in local, subscribe to our newsletter at nearmedia.co. We'll see you next week.